So in previous classes we discussed about the basic definition of limit, difference between left hand limit, right hand limit, and the way of calculating left limit and right limit. And now in this class, first of all I am starting with the algebra of limits. Algebra of limits in the sense we learned different operations and functions. In the previous chapter functions we learnt about the addition of functions, subtraction, multiplication of functions, composition of functions, and everything we learnt there. And now if you apply limit on the algebra of functions, automatically the limit also will we have a chance to apply algebra on that limits also. That in the sense, for suppose limit extends to a f of x is equals limit extends to a k, limit extends to a k is a constant. Since k is a constant, no x is involved here, and this x tending to a will not affect this k, so directly you will get your answer as k. And next thing, see if limit extends to a f of x is equals to l, okay, and limit extends to a g of x is equals to m. First of all, if you know these two, as x is tending to a, in both the cases x is tending to a, as x is tending to a, f of x is tending to l and g of x is tending to m. It is just approaching concept, right? And so as x is tending to a, the sum of these two functions also approaches to sum of these two values l plus m. Okay, so f plus g of x is l plus m, and as well for the limit f minus g of x is l minus m, and for the product of the functions the limit is l into m, because I know for the first function limit is l and for the second function it is m, and for the division of functions it is l by m. So if you multiply the limit with a constant value, so k into f of x, then we have a chance to write it like k into l. You just separate that k and apply limit for f, and that f of x the limit is l, so k into l. So the usual task, if you apply modulus, then its value is modulus of, and if you apply limit extends to a g circle f of x is equals to limit extends to a g of f of x is equals to g of l. Okay, see for composition also, see you just identified for composition of the functions also. Okay, limit extends to a g circle f of x is equals to limit extends to a g of f of x. You know g circle f of x is g of f of x. As x is tending to a, this f of x is l, so g of l is your answer. So this algebra of limits helps us very much in solving many problems. Okay, right, have a look. So with this discussion of algebra, easily we will split the given problem into some small parts, and then we will find the limits. Is it clear? So for an example I will give you one small discussion here. Okay, yeah, so as per this discussion, as an example I am giving, just have a look. For suppose if I have limit x tends to something like 7x square. Okay, so as per algebra of limit we have a chance to write this 7 out. 7 into limit x tends to 2x square, and that is equals to 7 into 2 square, and that is equals to 28. Actually the task is simple, but this way of expression is very much important. Okay, see if you know this way of expression, that way of expressing, that way of notation helps us in solving different problems. That's what I am saying. Okay, yeah. Just have a look. For suppose if I have a problem like this, limit x tends to 3 g of what I need to say, g of some 2 power x. Limit x tends to 3 g of 2 power x. Just with the discussion of algebra of limits, I will express it like this: limit, or otherwise limit x tends to 3 g of 2 power x. We have a chance to write it like this: g of limit x tends to 3 2 power x. And we know limit x tends to 3 2 power x. 2 power x is well defined before and after of the 3, so easily we will replace x with the 3, then the value is g of 2 power 3, and that is equals to g of 8. Okay, if you know g, then find g of 8, or otherwise that's your answer. So to answer these type of problems, we need little knowledge related to the algebra of limits. As well, for example, limit x tends to some 7 sin x plus 1 by x. If this is your problem, as per algebra of limits, we have a chance to split. Replace x with 7 in the first one, it will become like sin 7. And if you replace x with 7 here, it will become like 1 by 7. So for addition, you just easily apply limit for two functions separately. For composition, easily you can apply limit for the that f of x. And for this type of constant multiplication, we have a chance to separate this constant out of the limit. So this is all about the algebra of limits. Have a look. So for suppose if you are trying to find limit x tends to a f of x. Limit x tends to a f of x. So if this f of x is a regular function, okay, and then limit x tends to a f of x value is see, directly you just replace x with a, then limit x tends to a f of x is simply nothing but f of a. And after calculating this f of a, we need to think, what is this f of a? What is this f of a? Whether this f of a is well defined or not, we need to think. Okay? See, that f of a may be determinant form, or that f of a may be indeterminate form. Just look there, determinant form and indeterminate form. Limit x tends to a f of x, I need to calculate. Replace x with a, we will get f of a. And after having f of a, we need to think whether it is determinate or not. Okay, determinate form or indeterminate form. If it is determinate form, then our answer for the problem is directly f of a. If it is indeterminate form, we will try to avoid that indeterminate form. Okay, if it is an indeterminate form, we will try to avoid indeterminate form. And basically, what is determinate form and what is indeterminate form, we need to know about it. Okay, so determinate forms are just simply usual values, real values. Okay, determinate forms are simply usual real values, or it may be 0, or maybe infinity, or something by infinity, or something by 0, or it may be infinity into infinity. All these forms are usually considered as determinate forms. Okay, but what you say about the indeterminate form? There are some indeterminate forms in mathematics. Those values, those forms are indeterminate. Nobody knows anything about these forms. If your answer is such indeterminate forms, you have to try to avoid those indeterminate forms. Okay, see, just it's an explanation. This 7th problem is just an explanation, and the next point I am going to solve some problems. Then those problems will give you a clear idea. So coming to the indeterminate forms, see, 0 by 0 is an indeterminate form. See, 0 by 0 is not 0. 0 by 0 is not infinity. 0 by 0 is not 1. 0 by 0 is an indeterminate form. Okay, nobody knows about that. As well as infinity by infinity. Infinity, the numerator is infinity, denominator is infinity. That one is a very, very large unknown value. This denominator is also very, very large unknown value. That is large unknown, this is large unknown. But we don't know whether the large numbers are equal or not. Infinity always represents a large unknown. Okay, sometimes the infinity may be some 1000 crores, and sometimes the infinity may be 1 lakh crores. It's a very, very large quantity. They may not equal, right? So, and that's why we don't know the exact values of infinity and infinity. So, infinity by infinity is not equals to 1. Some people may think that infinity by infinity as 1, but it is a wrong idea, right? So, infinity by infinity is what? An indeterminate form. Not only that, infinity minus infinity is also an indeterminate form. The same explanation. Okay, see, infinity is an unknown quantity. This infinity is also an unknown. The difference of these two, is not 0, right? Because we don't know it, because we don't know it, they are not equal, right? Infinity value is unknown large value. We know it as large, but we don't know its exact value. This infinity is also the same thing. Those two are not equal, okay? They may be very, very large, okay? One infinity value may be some 10 crores, other value may be some 100 crores. Who knows about it? This is not an exact task, right? And that's why this infinity minus infinity is an indeterminate form. So 0 into infinity. 0 into infinity is also an indeterminate form. Okay? And along with this, 0 power 0 is also an indeterminate form. And 0 power 0 is indeterminate, but whereas infinity power infinity is determinate only. Infinity power infinity is very, very large. Its power infinity is also very large. 0 power 0, infinity power 0, 1 power infinity, all these are indeterminate forms. Okay? These forms are not there in mathematics. Not only in mathematics, these forms are meaningless. Nobody knows about these forms. And that's why if your answer, if your f of a value is any one of these indeterminate forms, any one of these indeterminate forms, that means we are calculating a wrong value. We are doing a wrong something, okay? To avoid that incorrect task, we need to avoid these indeterminate forms. That's what I am mentioning here, okay? So once again I repeat for you, limit x tends to a f of x if you need. If you need this, just directly replace x with a. You will get f of a, okay? Now just look at f of a. Whether that f of a is determinant or indeterminate. If that is determinant, your answer is directly f of a. If that is indeterminate in the sense any one of these forms, then you did something wrong, okay? To avoid that incorrect task, we need to avoid indeterminate forms, okay? So avoid indeterminate form. To avoid indeterminate form, what are the tools with us? To avoid indeterminate form, the first thing is you need to use your logic. You need to use any logic to avoid the indeterminate form. And the next thing is we need to use algebraic skill. We need to use algebraic skill. Okay. Coming to algebraic skill, the usually helpful ideas are simplification, rationalization, and as well as factorization. I think you know it, okay? So in algebra, usually to avoid indeterminate forms, we use simplification, rationalization, factorization ideas, or you may use your logic. Or to avoid indeterminate form, you just go with your geometric skill. So coming to geometric skill, see, plane geometry as well as trigonometry, everything comes under this geometric ideas. Not only geometric ideas, you may go with the calculus ideas. Coming to calculus ideas, the helpful ideas are, see, derivatives with the name L'Hospital rule, or series expansion with the name Taylor series. Okay, I am just mentioning the name of mathematicians who supported this derivative task and series expansion. Okay, L'Hospital as well as Taylor. Okay, and not only this, we may use sometimes graphs also, as we discussed, right? Function definition along with the graphs. Okay, to avoid indeterminate forms because of the space, I am just mentioning here. To avoid indeterminate forms, we may use function definition, or you may use logic, or you may use graph also. Graphs. Once again, at the end I will tell you. See, first of all, we have limit x tends to a f of x. Just replace x with a, you will get f of a, and you just observe that f of a, whether it is determinate or indeterminate. If that value is determinate in the sense it may be real value, it may be 0, it may be infinity, anything, no problem. If it is determinate, your answer is directly that f of a. If that f of a value is indeterminate, that means any one of these things, then we need to avoid that indeterminate form. Okay, to avoid that indeterminate form, we have different ideas. The first thing is using the definition of the function or the graph, and the second thing is using your logical ideas, and then one more thing is using algebraic skill like simplification, rationalization, factorization, and one more thing is using geometric skill like plane geometrical ideas or trigonometric ideas, and the next one is calculus ideas, sometimes derivative and sometimes series expansion. Okay, and at the end, yeah, using all these indeterminate forms, okay, with using all these methods of avoiding indeterminate forms. There are different methods to avoid indeterminate forms. So with the help of these methods, we will generate some standard limits. We will generate some standard limits, or we may call them as standard formulas to solve the problems. Using our algebraic, geometric and graphical skills, we will generate some standard limits and we call them as standard formula. Using these standard formulas, easily we will solve many problems. At the end, this is the picture. So initially what I do is, I will give you some problems where you may use this rationalization idea, simplification idea, factorization idea to find the limits. And then we will discuss some problems where we need to use geometric skills. And then I will give you some problems where we use calculus ideas. And by summarizing all these things, we will list out some standard limits and we call them as standard formulae. Using those standard formulae, we answer hundreds of questions. That's the task at the end. Just have a look. Just look at the board. We have 3 problems, okay? As I mentioned you, to find the limit values for this type of problems, first of all, we need to replace x value with that particular number. If we will get an indeterminate form, to avoid it, we need to use any one of the techniques. Here, I gave you 3 problems where we use algebraic techniques. See, the first problem, we will use to solve the first problem factorization method, factorization technique. And for the second problem, you just use simplification trick. And for the third problem, we need to use the rationalization technique just to avoid indeterminate forms. Okay? See, look at the first problem. Limit x tends to 1 root x minus 1 by x square minus 3x plus 2. See, this is x tends to 1. Okay? So just for a discussion, I will give you one more value also. Limit x tends to, you may say some 5, okay, or otherwise some 9 you may just take. Limit x tends to 9 root x minus 1 divided by x square minus 3x plus 2. If anybody asks you the value of this function as extending to 9, what is your answer? So your answer is simply this. You just replace x with 9. What will happen? Root 9 minus 1 divided by 9 square minus 3 into 9 plus 2. So what is root 9 minus 1? Root 9 is 3 minus 1 is 2. The numerator is 2. Coming to the denominator, 9 square is 81. Okay? 3 nines is 27. And 81 minus 27 is 54. Plus 2 is 56. On solving, you get it as 1 by 28. So this particular limit value is 1 by 28. No problem. Direct simplification. Very clear. Right. But now, what you say about this particular problem? If you solve in the same manner, limit x tends to 1 root x minus 1 by x square minus 3x plus 2. If you replace x with 1, what will happen? Root 1 minus 1 divided by 1 square minus 3 into 1 plus 2. You just try to simplify. The numerator is 1 minus 1, 0. The denominator is again 1 plus 2, 3 minus 3 is 0. 0 by 0, which is an indeterminate form. Okay? So if as extending to 9, the function value is 1 by 28, directly your answer is 1 by 28. No need to do any other logical trick. Okay? Because since that form is determinate value. But whereas as extending to 1, when you replace x with 1, you are getting 0 by 0. That 0 by 0 actually an indeterminate form. So since there are no indeterminate forms in mathematics, see, this is a wrong answer. To avoid that wrong answer, this direct substitution is a wrong task. So, direct substitution is a wrong task, then what we need to do? Then we have to use our logical skill, algebraic skill or geometrical skill. Here I am using factorization trick. Okay, so I am erasing this for the space. Right, now for the first problem, yeah, this is an indeterminate form. Now to avoid indeterminate form, I am just writing like ID form. Okay, to avoid indeterminate form, we need to use any algebraic skill. Here you just use factorization. Okay, so how to factorize it? Coming to the way of factorizing, so this is equals to limit x tends to 1, the numerator is root x minus 1, whereas coming to the denominator, x square minus 3x plus 2. I think you all know the way of factorizing this quadratic expression. If you factorize it, you will get it like x minus 1 into x minus 2. Yeah, you are getting like x minus 1 into x minus 2. Still if you replace x with 1, again it is 0 by 0 only. Okay. Still if you replace x with 1, again it is 0 by 0, right? So further factorization is required for this. So limit x tends to 1, the numerator is root x minus 1 divided by x minus 1. See, I will rewrite this x minus 1 like this, just pay attention. Root x minus 1 into root x plus 1 into x minus 2. Yeah, since x is tending to 1, we have a problem with this 1 only, not with 2. That's why don't disturb that x minus 2. Just split this x minus 1 as root x minus 1 into root x plus 1. Now at the end, if you observe, the numerator it is root x minus 1, the denominator it is root x minus 1. So at the end what we have here? See, this is equals to limit x tends to 1, the numerator is 1 and in the denominator root x plus 1 into x minus 2. Right. Since we cancel out that root x minus 1, see when you replace x with 1, this is 0, this is 0. That 0 by 0 task gets cancelled and now you left with a regular function. Then you just replace x with 1. If you replace x with 1, what will happen? Root 1 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2. And here if you replace x with 1, 1 minus 2 is minus 1 and your answer at the end is minus 1 by 2. So finally, limit x tends to 1, root x minus 1 by x square minus 3x plus 2 value. The limit of this particular function is minus 1 by 2. See, just observe it. This function is somewhat a different function. This function has no definition at x is equals to 1. If you replace x with 1, this is not defined, right? So 1 is not in the domain of the function. 1 is not in the domain, but the values which are left side of 1, the values which are more than 1, all those values are included in the domain. So if you think about in that range of domain which are less than 1 as well as greater than 1, the results, the functional values are in the neighborhood of this minus 1 by 2. That's actually final discussion. But the way of calculation is replace x with 1, you will get indeterminate form. To avoid, use factorization. On simplification, at the end your answer is minus 1 by 2. Okay, so for this problem we use factorization trick. And for the next problem, what I said, we are going to use simplification task. Okay, I will discuss for you. Okay, I am erasing this, right? Yeah. So the first problem is completed and your answer for that one is minus 1. So for the second problem again, the same task as the first problem. First you just replace x with 2. Replace x with 2. What will happen? If you replace x with 2, 1 by 2 minus 2 minus 4 by 2 square minus 4. Is it right? Directly replace x with 2. Right. 2 minus 2 is 0, which is equals to 1 by 0 minus 4 by 0. 1 by 0 is infinity, 4 by 0 is also infinity. Infinity minus infinity. As I said, this infinity minus infinity is indeterminate form. Since it is indeterminate form, again we need to use any one of the techniques to avoid use simplification. Yeah, to avoid use simplification. And how can we simplify? How can we simplify? Just to calcium, right? Then the problem will become, okay. Then the problem is simply limit x tends to 2, 1 by x minus 2 minus 4 by x square minus 4 is simply nothing but x minus 2 into x plus 2 or x square minus 4. It's your choice of expressing. So this is equals to limit x tends to 2. What is the denominator? X square minus 4 or x minus 2 into x plus 2. Since here I have x square minus 4, x minus 2 is there. This is x plus 2 minus 4. Okay. So x plus 2 minus 4 is what? X minus 2. So limit x tends to 2, x minus 2 divided by x minus 2 into x plus 2. These two will get cancelled. 1 by x plus 2 and replace x with 2. Your answer is 1 by 4. There ends the problem. So direct substitution gives us an indeterminate form. So we need to avoid that. To avoid, use simplification, and on simplifying you have your answer as 1 by 4. Okay, just have a look. I have one more problem where we will use rationalization. Okay, if it is clear, I will discuss that next one. Okay, so directly. Then to rationalize the third problem, first of all directly substitute x with 4. What will happen? Okay. Yeah, replace x with 4. What will happen? 3 minus root of 5 plus 4 divided by 4 minus 4. Direct substitution. Root of 5 plus 4 is 9. Root 9 is 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. This is 0 by 0. 0 by 0 is simply an indeterminate form. Now in this case, to avoid indeterminate form, my idea is rationalization, because square root is involved, right? To avoid indeterminate form, use rationalization. I think you all know the way of rationalizing. Rationalization in the sense either rationalizing denominator or rationalizing numerator. So here root is involved for the numerator. Just change the symbol and multiply both numerator and denominator. So limit x tends to 4, 3 minus root of 5 plus x divided by x minus 4 is the given function. As a part of rationalization, you just multiply with 3 plus root of 5 plus x divided by 3 plus root of 5 plus x. Now in the numerator, limit x tends to 4, the numerator a minus b into a plus b. A minus b into a plus b is what? A square minus b square. So 3 square is 9 minus b square is 5 plus x. Directly I am writing a minus b into a plus b. And in the denominator, this is x minus 4 into, I have this 3 plus root of 5 plus x. Now 9 minus 5 is how much? 4 minus x. So this is equals to limit x tends to 4. This simplification is 4 minus x in the numerator and x minus 4 in denominator into 3 plus root of 5 plus x. Yeah, just have a look. This x minus 4 cancels this 4 minus x for minus 1 times, and now replace x with 4. The numerator is minus 1, in the denominator 3 plus root of 5 plus 4. So this is equals to minus 1 by 6, because this is 3 and 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. Minus 1 by 6 is your answer. Just have a look. When you directly substitute that x as 4, that direct substitution will give us 0 by 0, an indeterminate form. To avoid, use rationalization. Rationalization in the sense, since square root is involved in the numerator, you just change this sign, okay? Then 3 plus root of 5 plus x, multiply and divide. Numerator, when you multiply, 3 into 3, 3 square is 9 minus this root of 5 plus x whole square. On simplification, at the end your answer is minus 5 by 6. Okay? So this is the way of solving problems using any one of the algebraic tricks. Have a look.